Hello and welcome to Thursday's edition of Cracking the Cryptic. An exciting day for me. I'm actually going up to London later for the first time since the pandemic started. There's a prize giving for the Pablo's Armchair Sudoku Hunt, Treasure Hunt, Sudoku on the brain. So I'm going to go to that. I may even see some of you there. So I think Mark and I are going. So hopefully we may even see some Cracking the Cryptic viewers later on tonight. Now, what else is going on? Well, you can see on the screen there is a puzzle that looked to me completely ridiculous. Mark sent this through to me this morning and suggested I had a go at it. I immediately rang him up and said, no, there must be some mistake. Apparently there is no mistake. So this is the puzzle I'm going to be trying this afternoon, which is, it's ridiculous. We've got some 3 cell arrows. There is a knight's move constraint and a Windoku constraint, which means that these grey boxes have to contain the digits 1 to 9 once each. That's it. Apparently this solves. It's called Isolation by Nihilian. I hope I will be able to solve it for you, but I have to say, at first blush, this looks absolutely ridiculous. Do I have anything to tell you about today? No, I just want to say thank you, actually. Yesterday, we did a video to celebrate Cracking the Cryptic achieving the grand total of 450,000 subscribers on YouTube, and many of you took the time to comment on that video with some of your stories about how you found the channel and some of the pleasure, I suppose, it's given you over the last few years. And it was lovely to read some of those comments, so thank you very much, all those of you who commented on yesterday's puzzle. Now, I've got nothing else to tell you. Why don't we just kick off with this? Here are the rules. Normal Sudoku rules apply. The grey highlighted regions contain the digits 1 to 9 once each, so we've got to put the digits 1 to 9 in that grey box and this grey box, etc, etc. Cells separated by a knight's move in chess cannot contain the same digits, so let's put a 1 in the middle of the grid and imagine how this would move. If it was a chess knight, it could jump to all of these cells, and therefore we can't put a 1 in any of those cells in this puzzle. So you must make sure that where cells separated by a knight's move don't have the same digits in them. And digits along an arrow must sum to the digit in that arrow circle. So if we put 1, 2, 5 into this arrow, 1 plus 2 plus 5 is 8, so you'd have to put 8 in the circle, etc. That is it. That is it. I mean, what? I don't know. Do have a go. I've no idea, by the way, how hard this is. I'm guessing absolutely impossible. Some of you like me to guess how long I think the video will be. I'm going to guess 1 hour and 10 minutes. There we are. The way to play is to click the link under the video. Can't remember if I've said that, but now I get to play. Let's get cracking. And actually, as I said cracking there, I remembered something about a Windoku puzzle, which I should tell you, shouldn't I? Because there is a trick with Windoku. I haven't done a Windoku puzzle for ages, but the trick is to consider sets of 3 columns or rows that overlap with the Windoku constraint. So if we look at column 2, obviously column 2 contains a set of the digits 1 to 9. As does column 3, as does column 4. So we can describe the contents of columns 2, 3 and 4 together as 3 complete sets of the digits 1 to 9. But because of the Windoku rules, I know that that is also a set of the digits 1 to 9, and that is a set of the digits 1 to 9. So given that I know the 3 columns altogether contain 3 sets of the digits 1 to 9, but this box is 1 and this box is another, that means these this sort of trisection of the grid, these purple cells, have to contain a set of the digits 1 to 9. And that obviously works all over the place. So that means those have to contain a set of the digits 1 to 9. These have to contain a set of the digits 1 to 9. And finally, last but not least, those have to contain a set of the digits 1 to 9. So we can construct lots of pretty pictures in the grid. And I don't know how we use that in the absence of digits, but I thought I would just tell you it because it was something I could say. I guess what we start with, though, here is the fact that these circles are restricted, aren't they? Because each of these arrows, by the looks of things, is entirely contained within a Windoku window, and that means that these digits all have to be different. So if these digits have to be different, the minimum we could make them would be 1, 2 and 3, which add up to 6. And that means that every circle must be at least a 6. Now, that makes me think, can we prove all of these circles contain different digits? Obviously this one has to be different from this one and this one because it sees those by the rules of Sudoku. Why do these two have to be different? That is the question. I don't know is the answer. What I'm tempted to do though is I'm tempted to see if we can trace around the grid from this cell. What do I mean by that? Well, where does this digit appear in the rest of the grid, I suppose, is what I mean, because it's definitely not going to repeat in its box, it's definitely not going to repeat in its row, and it's definitely not going to repeat in its column. But this digit is also not going to repeat in its Windoku box, or in those cells by knight's move. So that is interesting, isn't it? So that means that the purple digit is either in this domino or this domino in columns 3 and 4, because there must be a purple digit in those 6 cells because this Windoku window needs a purple. But these 2 columns must have 2 purples in them, so if there's 1 in those 6 cells, there must be 1 in those 4 cells. And, well, okay, that's interesting. So you can't now have purple in either of these 2 cells, can you? Because if you did put purple there, now you can't put purple in any of those cells, and you couldn't actually have a purple at all in column 4. So that is interesting. So the fact there must be a purple in one of these 4 cells rules out purple from both of those. Okay, I'm beginning to believe this puzzle has some sort of weird geometric feature. But how do I prove that this is not the same as that? Well, if purple was in this domino, then I'd have done it. So why is purple not in this domino? Why can't this be purple? So if that's purple, there'd be a purple up there. I don't know. Sorry, I'm not sure if this is actually... Is this actually do... Oh, it must have the... It's symmetrical, of course. Right, so what we've just done up here, that logic must work the same way in these cells. So those can't be purple either. No, but that doesn't really take me forward very far. So there must be purple in one of these 4 cells. Sorry, I think I'm going down the wrong track here. Let's get rid of that. Sorry, I was convinced that, well, not convinced, but I was hopeful I might be able to prove these were all different. And if I could have done that, then one of them would have to be a 6 arrow and would have to be 1, 2, 3, and that might have led to some colouring that we could do or something like that. Now, in the absence of that, what is it going to be? There must be some weird geometric trick. I'm aware in Knight's Move puzzles there's a restriction on the central cell and the Fistomophel ring, isn't there? But the Fistomophel ring looks as far away from the geometry of this puzzle as almost it's possible to be. Now, okay, maybe we've got to think about these cells which poke into the central box. And the reason I think this cell might be interesting is because, of course, it's in the Windoku box. So if we wonder where this digit is in the rest of the grid, we can instantly rule out all of those cells. And of course, all of these cells, all of these cells, all of these cells, all of these cells. Knight's move cells, we can get rid of all those. So it's something like all those instantly can't be a purple digit. And that means that we can rule out... I'm trying to buy for time here. I can't see what this does at all. Bobbins. It doesn't do anything. Oh. Okay. No, I can't see. I was wondering whether there was some restriction on a column or something, but I don't know. Oh dear. Okay, this is not going very well. May have to up my estimate of the time, I think. Right, so what is it then? If it's not circle, I don't think it's circles. I don't see how I can restrict the circles. Ah, you know what it might be? It might be these cells in the middle of the... And the reason I'm thinking that cell's interesting is I'm just thinking about my extra region. So if that's an extra region of the Sudoku, that digit is suddenly interesting as regards the orange cells, because whatever that digit is ruled out of 7 of the orange cells instantly, and yet it must appear in the orange cells somewhere because we know every digit appears in orange. So orange... Yes, okay. Alright, this is certainly... I think it's more interesting than what we've got, well, the other options I've explored. And that's because I now know one of these squares is purple, for sure. So let's get rid of orange now. Which means in row 1, none of these squares can be purple. But that logic is symmetrical, isn't it? So we can instantly apply that to those cells, which must include a purple digit. And therefore there must be a purple in one of those cells as well. I suppose I should give these a flash because I don't know which one of them is purple. That means that purple in box 3 is now in the Windoku. Which means... I don't know what it means, but now I'm very tempted to colour in the cells that can't be purple again. Because suddenly I think we've got a lot more of them. So what can't be purple? Anything in the box, anything in the Windoku, anything a knight's move away, anything in row 1 that is not in those specific cells, anything in column 9 that is not in those specific cells, anything in this Windoku that's not in the top right hand corner of that Windoku, all of those cannot be purple. And now we can say, well, okay, I can rule out those 2 cells from being purple, because of course if that's purple, it removes the ability to put a purple in column 9 at all. So those 2 can't be purple. And I suppose I can do the same in row 2. That can't be purple, can it? Because that's a knight. Oh, there's more knight's move trickery we can do. All of those can't be purple either. So all of those become green. Okay, where has this taken us? Has it taken us anywhere particularly useful? The answer, unfortunately, might be no. Sorry, I can't. Purple is in one of those cells. Right, so purple can't be here, because purple here would rule out those 2 and that one by knight's move, so that's green as well. So now, now in row 2, purple is in one of 3 cells, which is very interesting because that means that cell can't be purple. Because if that was purple, it would rule itself out of there and these two. This one because of knight's move. So that's not purple now. So purple in box 1 is in one of 3 positions. Purple in box 2 is in 4 positions, I think. So I'm just trying desperately hard to see whether there's some knight's move restriction here that I don't understand. In box 5 it's horrible. It's got a whole W pentomino of purpleness that we can, or that it can avail itself of. Purple, and then by symmetry we've got the same sort of weird pattern here that we had there. Oh, so I should be able to find another place like this one that has only 3 positions. So how come this had 3 positions and this doesn't have 3 positions? The answer to that is I don't know. Oh, I know why. It's because I've not done the row. There you go. Those are all green. Now I've got 3 positions here, and symmetry has availed, well, it's helped me a bit. Right, that square can't be purple because that would rule out purple from those. So purple in this box has 3 positions, which is the same as this box. And that is making sense to me. But unfortunately, I now can't even see the Windoku windows. So this digit, have we actually improved on our situation at all here? I'm not sure that we have actually. Sorry, I thought that this might do. It definitely, at least it allowed us to do some eliminations, didn't it? But I don't think it's really, I don't think it's taken us forward enough. I can't see a way of ruling one of these out. Maybe it's the Windoku boxes that I can't see. Let's just focus on this by reference to Windoku boxes for a moment or two and see if there's anything we can say about those. So that's a Windoku box, that's a Windoku box. There's definitely one in one of these dominoes. Can we do something with that somehow? Don't see how, but I might be wrong. This one down here must be the mirror image of this one, so that's not useful. I don't know. I feel like, yeah, I don't really want to abandon this, but I don't think we've got anything else we can do. No. Okay, let's look at row 6. I've just noticed I can get rid of that digit, I think. Yeah, okay. Yeah, so if we look at row 6, if this was purple, you couldn't put a digit in row 6 anymore because that would see that one by knight's move and these 2 in its box, so that one is green. Which means that one's green by symmetry, so that must apply as regards, well, I was going to say, yes, no, okay, it applies on column, so the equivalent of this by symmetry is that, isn't it? So it's column 4 and this digit, yes, okay, that works the same way, so that can't be. So now, good grief, well now in row 2, where does this digit go? It's got to be in this domino, but in column 8 it's got to be in this domino. So it must simultaneously be in both of this domino and that domino, which means it's in the circle. That's absolutely ridiculous. So this digit is the same as this digit. So does that mean... So now these are different. We've proved it. We've proved it. These are a set of the digits 6, 7, 8, and 9. That is weird. And that's because, of course... Oh no, wait. No, well, yes. Oh my goodness me. Right. I am going to allege that that cell is a 6. That is ridiculous. Oh my goodness. Wow. Okay. Okay, it's taken me 20 minutes, but I think I've got the break in. So, we've established a relationship between these two cells, i.e. that they're the same. But that logic must apply symmetrically to every centre of the Windoku in this puzzle, because in order to prove this logic, I didn't use the arrows at all. I just used the knight's move constraint. So it must be symmetrical. These two digits are the same, and I can't see the Windokus, but let's get rid of all of the colouring. So, now I've got to remember what... So, well, it was this one, wasn't it? That one was the same as that one. Now, that means that this one must be the same as that one. But more interesting than that is this one must be the same as this one. And let's come back to that in a moment. Let's just complete the colouring, because that one is the same as this one. And now, think about these two. This is on an arrow. It's on a 3-cell arrow. Well, you can't put more than 6 on a 3-cell arrow, because if you try and put 7 in here, you can't put double 1 there and keep this down to a single-digit total. It's impossible. So this must be a 6, and that must be a 6, which means this is a 1, 2, 3 triple, which means this is a 1, 2 pair, and this is a 9. Which means that these two can't be 6 and 9. We know they're all different. So this is now a 7, 8 pair on the other diagonal. Not that it's even really a diagonal. 9 must go here by the medium of madness. This domino can't contain 1 and 2. And yet it can't add up to more than 8. So that's a 3, 4 pair, and this is a 1. That's a 2, that's a 1. I don't believe it. I actually don't believe it. 2, 3, that's a 4, that's a 3. This is an 8. So that's an 8, that's a 7, that's a 7. This must be a 1, 2, 4 arrow. This is not a 1, therefore. I don't believe it. Where does 7 go in column 8? Well, it doesn't go there or there by knight's move. So it goes here. This column still needs a 6 in it. Well, a 6 can't go there because it would be a knight's move away from itself. And the digit I'm missing is a 5, I want to say. This is, I mean, the healing, how did you discover? I mean, if you discovered this, you would just think, you know, you'd think you'd go down in the annals of history as somebody who has really invented something very, very clever. This is... It's absurdly clever. It really is. And now, I bet you what you have to do is to think about the middle digits of these thingies and the extra regions. Because what I've not done here is to preserve all my colouring. But remember, this digit, because it has to appear in this extra region, can only go in one of those two cells, which is a bit hard to pencil mark, but I'm going to try and remember this is extra region. Yeah, this is beautiful. Where does that 8 go? In this Windoku. It's got to go vertical, which means that square is not able to be 8 anymore. This is an 8. Okay, so now can I do the same with 9? So 9 is in one of those two. And that means... Bother. I don't know. 7 is in one of those two. We probably are going to have to go on a... 6 is in one of these two. We're probably going to have to go on a pencil marking expedition now. And I tell you something I do know, and that is that I am appalling at scanning Windoku puzzles, which won't surprise some of you. But I find them very, very... They're too intricate for me. There's just too much going on. 2, 3, 4, 5, 9. Right, okay. Well, what I can do is I can do this column. Well, at least I can do that digit. In fact, there's a couple of ways of thinking about this digit. The way I was thinking about it was that it saw all those digits. But actually, it's just a plain old naked single, isn't it? This digit sees 1, 2, 3... it is a 4, so that's what we're going to find. It's not 5, it's not 6, 7, 8 or 9 by knight's move, so that's a 4. So now, no, so 4 is in one of these two cells in the middle box. Okay, so let's carry on with this column then. We need to put in this column 2, 3, 5 and 9. Well, this can't be 2 or 3, so this is definitely only able to be 5 or 9. This can't be 2 because it sees 2 in its Windoku. So this is 3, 5 or 9. Just seeing if we can do better than that, because there's quite a lot of scanning to do here. I can't see that I can do better than that. And this square is 2, 3. Oh, I think this can be anything. That's very annoying. 2, 3, 5 or 9. I think this can be 2, because if this was 2, you'd force a 2 here. No, that doesn't work. How? That's so strange. I have no intuition about this at all. I can see it's not true. The reason that these aren't both 2 is that then you'd have to put a 2 in one of those cells, and that 2 would block it out. But I can't see how I could have... I don't know, there might be a cleverer way of working that out. But anyway, that gives me a 2 here, that gives me a 3 here. So now... Well, yes, that's beautiful. Look at this Windoku. It's got to have 3 in it, and the 3 is not there, and it's not there, so it's got to be here. So these squares are now known. Those squares are 5, 6, and 9. And 9 sees this one, so this is only 5 or 6. And that one can't be 3, obviously, so there's a 5-9 pair now in this column. This Windoku up here, what do we need in it? 4, 5, 7 and 8. I don't know whether we could do anything with that. I can see the 4 has to be in one of those 3 cells. Which is a bit weird, because that means... Oh, I think no, I haven't broken the puzzle. I was thinking about this extra region suddenly and thinking, where does the 4 go in it? But of course it goes exactly there where I've already put it. Alright, so we've got to do something else now. Well, let's think about... Oh no, that's annoying. I was going to try and use this 7 on this extra region, but we've already got the 7. Okay, let's use the 7 horizontally. 7 is not in those or there. So 7's in a pair over here. 6 is in a pair over here, and it's not there. That's 5, 6, 9, isn't it? So it's not here. So that's a 6. Aha. Aha. So 6 is now in one of those 2 cells by Sudoku. And can we... No, we've got 6 vertically. We've got 7. I've not looked at 9 horizontally, so 9 must be in one of those 2 cells. And I've not looked at 8 horizontally, so 8 must be in one of these 2 cells. But I don't think this is getting me anywhere. Okay, so where do we look now? Have we got rows and columns that are more full than I might otherwise expect them to be? What about those 4 digits then? They've got to be 4, 5, 7 and 8. I mean, I could pencil mark them, I suppose, but I don't actually see very much that's helpful about this. That can't be 4 because of the knight's move. 4, 5, 7 and 8. Can we do any better? It could. Well, it also wasn't 4 because there's 4 in its row, but I didn't notice that. No. Okay, what about this? 2, 5, 6 and 9. Okay. We'll go full pencil mark ham here. 5 sees that one, so that's down to... Oh, okay, that's down to 6 or 9. It sees 2 as well. Can we get rid of one of those digits? The answer is... That's not 9. 2, 5, 6. I don't know. Come on, Simon. No, okay. So we're going to have to do this one. No, this one's worse. I've only got 4 digits in this one. 3, 4, 5, 7, 8. 3, 4, 5, 7, 8. So 7 again has to be vertical. Yeah, if we think about where 7 goes in this Windoku, it's got to go in this domino. I've got no very good way of pencil marking that. Ah, you can't put 1 or 2. Ah, right, good grief, okay. Right, where do 1 and 2 go in row 8? That is an interesting question, because they cannot go there, because that's a knight's move away from itself. They can't repeat in the Windoku, so they're not in any of those cells. And I don't think you can put them here, because if you do, you're ruling it out of that triple, and we know this is a 1, 2, 4 triple in this Windoku. So that is a 1, 2 pair, I'm going to allege, which means that's a 4. Which means that's not a 4, so that's a 4 by the miracle of more madness. 4 must go at the top of the grid by even more madness. 4, where does 4 go in box 3? It's not a knight's move away from itself. There, I think. This is where we're going to come a cropper, because we're going to get an impossibility any moment, I bet you. So this is now... Well, what can we do with... Well, where does 4 go in box 7? It can't go there or there. I think it has to go here. Which seems to say 4 has to go here. How many 4s have we got? Loads. We should be able to get one more. In fact, we've not put one in this Windoku, which suggests it has to go there. I think that's okay. Wow, okay. Well, that's great, because now at least we can fill in these digits as 3, 5 and 8 and take a stare at those. And it's a stare that doesn't last long. Oh, there, that does see an 8. So this is 3 or 5. Oh, come on. I don't think we can do better than that. Okay, sorry. Bobbins. Well, okay, what about that? That's a 5, 7, 8 triple now. Has that been there for a while? I don't know. But that means this can't be a 5, because if it was a 5, you'd rule 5 out of that whole triple. So that's a 2 or a 6. But I don't know if it's seeing anything. 5 can't go there because of this 5, 7, 8 triple. There's a 6, 9 pair in column thingy thing. And when I say thingy thing, I mean not column, I mean box 5. Oh dear, we've been reduced to the level of talking about thingy things. 5 in this Windoku. Ah, yeah, that's good. Where does 5 go in this Windoku? Not here by knight's move. So it's here vertically. And that gets rid of the possibility of that being a 5. So this is a 3, which means that these aren't 3s anymore. 5 is not there by Sudoku. Whoops. So that's just 2 or 9. So this is 2, 6, 9. And 5 must go here in this Windoku, which means this is 7. Good grief. So this is not 7 now. So that must be 7. What about this row? I've got lots in it now. 5s, 6s, 8s and 9s. So that can't be 8. Oh, or 5. So that's just 6 or 9, I think. Let me just double check that. 5, 6, 8 or 9. Yeah. So it's a 6, 9 pair in this row. That's got to be 5 or 8. That sort of feels like it might be important. Yes, okay. Where does 2 go in that box? Because it seems to have to go in those 3 squares. This is a knight's move away from a 2, and that's a knight's move away from a 2. So I think it has to go there, which sees the 6 here. Okay, so that, well, it sees the 2 there, removes it. So that's a 6, that's a 9, that's a 2, that's a 6, that's a 5, that's a 9. This 5 sees that by knight's move. 8, 5, 5. This is almost... no, oh... This feels too good to be true. The whole thing feels too good to be true. 1, 2... 1, 2 and 9 into those squares, isn't it? Can we rule out anything? I don't know. 1 from that one. 2 from that one. And this row needs 2 and 8, and the 2 can only go here, I think. And this is therefore 8. So 8 is in one of 8 is in one of those 2 cells specifically. And these squares have got to be 1, 3 and 9. 3 goes there. So this is a 1, 9 pair now. And there's a 9 here. So this is 1, this is 9. This is 9. This is 2, this is 1. I don't believe it. 5, I've probably made a mistake, that's why. 5 and 7 have to be in these 2 squares. This has got to be a 3. It does still seem to be working. I keep thinking I'm seeing digits and knights move away from each other, but I keep being proved wrong. Long may that continue. Right, what about this box then? 1, 6, 8. So 6 goes here. 1 goes here and 8 goes here, and that's got to be a 9. This column needs 1 and 2 in it. This box needs 1, 3 and 7 in it. And there's a 1 and a 3, so that, well, there's a 3 and a 7 here. So this is a 1, that's a 2, that's a 1, that's a 2. This is a 3, 7 pair. This 3 tells us the order. 3, 7 go into the grid. That seems to be a 7 by knights, well, by unwinding our pencil marks. So what do we need? These are a 7, 9. That's got to be this way round. These are a 3 and an 8. Can we do that? Probably. I can't see how though. Oh, maybe the Windoku. Don't know. Oh well, never mind. Look, I can see that I can do the rest. I can do this digit in theory. That's got to be 9. I can see I can do this digit. That's got to be 6. And that means these 3 squares are 1s, 5s and 8s. Now, that's 1 or 8 therefore. I don't know if that's seeing and that's anything by knight's move. Oh, sorry, yeah, look, the 1 is already in this Windoku, so the 1 is pushed out of the Windoku in this column. This is a 5, 8 pair, there's an 8 here. So this is 8, this is 5, that's 3 therefore, that's 8, that's 5, and this box needs 2, 3 and 8. The 8 must go here, please. 2, 3. Yes! Oh, that was amazing! That's just amazing! How? How? I'm going to have to take a very careful stare at this grid afterwards to see whether I've got any knight's move clashes. I felt like I did it logically, but it seemed to come together so beautifully at the end. Oh my goodness me. How have I not heard of this puzzle? This is just ridiculously clever. Honestly, it's ridiculous. Isolation. I mean, when you discover that this configuration forces those digits to be the same, it's magical. It's magical, and to use it in this way that you can just immediately write these 6s in. I mean, it's revelatory, isn't it? Oh, I'm looking forward to the comments. Let me know how you got on in the comments. I do enjoy reading them, especially when they're kind. And we'll be back later with another edition of Cracking the Cryptic.